waking moment. I was extremely weak for 2 to 3 days, leaving me even more vulnerable than usual to Michael's attacks. If luck was on my side, he would be drunk enough after killing me and watching me regenerate that I was able to recover before he came at me again. If I wasn't lucky, well, those were normally the times I ended up in temporary foster homes. By the time I was a teenager, I had lost track of how many times I had died, only to be reborn back into the hell that was my life. Any time I tried to question Michael about how such a thing was possible, he would beat me again in lieu of answers, and it didn't take long for me to stop asking. Instead, I relied on any research I could do on my own, spending as many days as I could in the library. That place, filled with books, was my sanctuary. It had quickly become a safe place where I could hide away from my life, spend my days searching for any information I could find on regeneration, and stay out of the house. Over the years, I had tried to do odd jobs to earn a little money. I had mowed yards, cleaned for neighbors, walked dogs, and basically did everything in my power to start saving money. With the jobs I'd been able to work this past year, I had managed to accumulate a decent savings, and that money had allowed me to fulfill the dream I had let stew in my mind for years. I had been accepted to the University of Alaska, Anchorage, to begin my studies. The few people who were aware of my plans were shocked and horrified. Why would I want to move from Orlando, Florida, the happiest place on earth, to a city where I would have no sun at all for over 5 months of the year? What I couldn't and didn't want to voice to them was that, other than leaving the country, moving to Anchorage was as far as I could get from the demons that haunted me. While I had considered moving overseas, the idea of having an entire ocean and multiple continents between myself and my past was quite an attractive draw. I knew I didn't have the funds to get that far. After years of research and more application fees than I would have thought possible, receiving my acceptance letter from UAA had felt like a miracle. A part of me would miss the heat of Florida, but being 4,729 miles away from my past, yes, I had actually Googled it, was enough of a benefit for me that I would quite happily take all of the dark and snow that Alaska could throw my way and bow my head in thanks. Michael had barely enough energy or willpower to drag his butt off the couch to grab another beer. I couldn't see him tracking me almost 5,000 miles into the freezing cold Alaskan terrain and wasting all of the money that travel would require, no matter how much he liked having me around to satisfy his bloodlust. After all of my suffering and all of my planning, I was only steps away from starting the rest of my life. I was ready to leave the nightmare of my past behind and finally find a fresh start. Chapter 1. Nyx. You'd think by now I'd be used to death, but the exact opposite was true. Even when I saw it coming, knew it was inevitable, I tried to stop it. I wanted to fight, everything in me was screaming to. But I knew his sadistic rage wouldn't be quelled until I stopped breathing. I was hours from freedom, mere hours. I needed to just let it happen. A loud slap resonated through the room from the backhand that had connected with my flesh, and pain shot through my face. I felt my cheekbone crack from the force of his hit as my body went sideways, crashing into the old white refrigerator and rattling the bottles of beer chilling within. I felt warm blood smear across my cheek from the impact of his hit. A loud growl ripped from the monster's throat as he hauled me up by my arm, bruising it. It wouldn't matter. The marks would be gone when I awoke from death's grip. I tried to control my agony, reminding myself over and over that this would be the last time. I would never have to see the madness in this man's eyes again. I shoved at his chest, trying to dislodge his hold on me to no avail. He simply tossed me across the room and into the ugly, cracked, dingy yellow laminate that adorned the countertops. I couldn't keep from crying out, which only fueled his evil hysteria. Warm blood dripped down my face from where my head had made contact with the countertop, and I tried to stave off the vertiginous feeling descending over me. It took him 2 long strides to reach me, and I saw his black combat boots standing in front of me, through the tears and blood obstructing my vision, right before his hand reached down and wrapped around my throat. He hauled me up with little effort. His strength was one more of the many unexpected things in my life.